Hello friends, welcome to Miss Lori's craft room. Today we're going to be making a video on how to make this flower, and it is a black-eyed Susan. It's very similar to the sunflower that we made yesterday. This is one of the easiest flowers you're ever going to make. Okay, so just let's see what tools we need today. Okay, so this is a file that I created from just Petals. So it will be in, I'll share the file as I always do in the description. Okay, so you're going to need 2 flowers, and then you need 4. This is the strip that is the centerpiece, and you need 4 of these. You'll need to cut 4 of these and 2 of that. And on this one you don't need the little brown circle because it's you really don't need it on this one. Okay, so we also need some kind of round tool, and I'm going to use a Cricut spatula because most of us have one of these. We need ink. Today I'm going to be using, close to my heart, Gold Rush and Autumn Terracotta. You of course can use whatever you want, and I'm also going to be using a little bit of this. This one is Fire Brick, and it's by Tim Holtz. So you just use whatever kind of ink you want. Today I'm going to show you chalking. Some of you may have never seen chalking. We're going to do both. We're going to ink and we're going to chalk. Okay, this is ink. This is chalk from Petals ink. You can get these at Joann's. I'm not sure if they still carry them at Michael's or not, or you can get them online at Amazon, which if you ever watch my video, that's where I tend to get everything. Okay, so this also comes with this tool in it, and this is a chalking tool. So this is a pretty good kit for chalking. I really like it. So okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to ink one and chalk one so I can show you the difference. Oh yes, we need a dauber. My handy dandy daubers. These are fabulous. You can get them on Amazon for the cheapest. A lot of places, if you want to get them local, you can get 3 of them, but they're not real cheap, and you could get 25 for about the price of 2 packages of them at Joann's and Michael's. So, okay, so we're going to start with the lighter Gold Rush. Okay, so let me turn off one of my lights. It's kind of glary. Okay, so I'm just going to use this piece of paper because I don't want to get it all over my pad. So I'm going to get some ink, and then I'm just going to start brushing out from the middle. Now this black-eyed Susan that I'm making is one that has a lot of color in the center. Some black-eyed Susans don't. If that's the kind you want, don't do this part, okay? But I really, really like this. Okay, so this of course is going to dry a little bit lighter because it's wet and it's a dye ink, so it goes on pretty dark. Then I'm going to get the darker ink. Just do a little more. And remember, if you touch it like I did right there, it's okay. You're not even going to tell. Once it's together, no one's even going to say, "Oh no, look at, they didn't do that perfect inking." I had someone telling me that they had trouble with inking. Don't be scared of it. Okay, it's just fun. Okay, so that's pretty dark. So let me show you the difference. So this is the inked one. This one isn't ink. So you can see. Now, of course, you're not going to see all that color because it's going to be covered by the center. So I'm actually going to take some red too because I want to give it that just a little bit more. What I'm doing is trying to create just depth of color by adding all these colors on top of each other. And remember, if you don't like what you did, throw it away and cut another one. This is just paper. Paper's cheap and fun, and you know, of course, some paper isn't cheap, so you probably wouldn't be doing it with this though. Okay, so that one is the inked one. As you can see, you get a lot of depth of color pretty quickly. So let me close my ink so it doesn't dry out. And now I'm going to do the chalk. Now the chalk, it's going to be more subtle. My chalks are kind of a mess. I really need some new ones. I've had them for many, many years. Okay, I'm also going to be using this Workable Fixative. Okay, this, you don't have to have this. I just like it with this especially because I'm going to try to build color on top of each other. Okay, so we're going to start with just in this one is that I have. Let me see if it says the color on the back. This one's earth tone, so these are a little richer colors. See, I shouldn't have looked because now my colors are falling out again. Okay, so I'm going to start with the. It's kind of it's a yellow, one of the yellow ones on there, darker yellow, and I have, if you can't see it, there's a little ball on the end of this, and you'll get some of them in this kit. And honestly, I don't know if they sell them anymore in packages. So a lot of times I've taken to using a Q-tip. Let me show you what I do with a Q-tip. So because I don't have many of these little balls left, I can't find it, and I can't find them really in the stores, I just attach a Q-tip like this. And it doesn't work as good, but it does work, okay? So you can see right away that this color is going to be a lot more subtle. Okay, but let me show you how we're going to get more color. I really like chalk because it gives you a lot of control. Okay, you're going to get a lot more control on chalk than you would than you're going to get when you ink, because ink's a little harder to control. Okay, so we're going to shake up this fixative spray, and this is just a fixative. It just stops. And I've used hairspray before, but I don't really like hairspray. It's kind of sticky, and this is not sticky. Okay, and so I'm going to just do that, and it'll just take. It's really super quick to dry. Okay, it's a little damp, but it doesn't matter because what we're going to do is we're going to add more color to it. Okay, so what this is going to let it do is it sealed that, and it's going to let me add more color to it. Okay, it's going to, because I sealed that, it's going to let me build more color up on top of it. If you didn't, you wouldn't be able to get more. See, I'm not wasting my chalk to get it in the center because you're not going to be able to see that center. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a quick squirt again. Okay, and now I'm going to move on to the darker. I'm going to use kind of a rust red. I'm going to start in the middle and start brushing out because I don't really want to cover all that yellow I just put on there. I really like doing this, and I really like the fixative spray. I do a lot of paper piecing. I do a lot of little people in my store. And I really like what it does to the paper. It really changes the tone of it. So I really like that. Okay, so I'm going to actually pick up a little more red over here. I have another red. This one, I want to add just a little more red. So it's really going to be up to you, your preference you want to do. This one is getting a little dark for me. I probably would, in this particular case, really like the ink better, because I like that more color. But let me show you the difference. Okay, so chalk, ink. They're both good. They both look good. This is ink, this is chalk. See, I've got it backwards. So they're both really pretty, okay? Okay, so now we're going to do the center. I'm going to set those aside. And by the way, that stuff really stinks. So you probably want to have a fan going. But I really like the smell of it. It makes me feel comfortable because I've used it for so many years. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. Okay, so I would probably recommend you could use your white glue with this, but because I want it to dry right away, I'm going to do my hot glue. And all I'm doing is attaching them together because, of course, we can only cut like 11.5 inches. So I've got my snake. Okay. So, oh, I forgot, you need your tweezers. And these are the sharp little claws, which I love. Okay, so let's see if I can do this, like, not screw it up like I did yesterday in the sunflower video. Okay, so we're just going to grab the end, and we're going to start twisting. Now, I'm not doing this really tight. I'm not pulling it up tight, because for one thing, I don't want to break my paper. This is pretty thin paper. All right, so just going to keep going. Because this has little jaggedy little teeth on it, it catches on everything. So you want to make sure everything's out of the way. All right, so I'm just going to keep going. Now this is one you're not going to probably want to let go of it because I've measured it, and the 4 strips is, if you use this cut, if you use the size in the file, okay, so then you just hold on to it and let go of your tweezers. So if you use the size that I've done it in the file that you're going to get, this will fit exactly, 4 will fit exactly on this cut. Okay, so let me just show you. See, it's perfect. Now this is tall for a reason. Black-eyed Susans, their centers stand up, okay? They're quite prominent in the inside. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue. And I'm going to glue that tight. And I left it tight. I didn't let it go anywhere. Okay, I left it tight. Okay, so now we're not going to use a distressing tool on this because this flower is... we're going to curve it out. Super easy. That's where this tool comes in. Okay, so we're going to take, you can use a paintbrush, anything round, a pencil even, but I want it to be a little thicker like the spatula from the Cricut. So all you're going to do is you're going to tuck it up underneath and I'm going to put my finger on it and I'm going to pull it. See, I'm bending it over and pulling it up. And you can see what that did? It curved it. Okay, so I'm just going to do that on every petal. Some you will want to make a little curly, some you want to make a lot curly. It doesn't have to, because the flower is not exactly the same. Now when you open this file, you're going to see that this is kind of a funky petals that I put together. And flowers are not exactly the right either, so I did it on purpose because I wanted it to be more flower-like. I didn't want it to be perfect. Okay, so you can see that it's, when you look at it, you see your file, you're going to see that it's a little off, but that's okay because it looks like it's supposed to. Okay, so you see you've got the one that looks like a spider and then one that's flat, and so I'm going to do it to this one too. See how simple this is? You're just turning your petals in. All right, and so when we glue this, we're going to use a white glue because you have a little more wiggle room. Okay, so I'm going to do the chalked one underneath because I wasn't super happy with that. I'm going to put some white glue in the center. See, this gives me a little more wiggle room. Okay, and so you're going to want to offset the petals. Now this one isn't going to be, this is not exactly offset, so it's going to look a little different. But that's what it's going to look like in real life. In real life, it's going to not be perfect. Okay, so now you have it. Okay, so for the center, I am going to use hot glue because I want it to really stick. Okay, so I'm just going to put some hot glue in there. And then I'm going to set the center in there. And voila, you have a black-eyed Susan. Now, if you wanted to put this on a stick, to put in a bouquet, or put in, in a vase, what I would probably do is black-eyed Susans are kind of up like this. So I would use my X-Acto knife. I'm not going to do this now because I don't want to. I would take my X-Acto knife, and if you're going to put, honestly, if you're going to put this in a bouquet or you're going to put it on a stick, what I would do is slice out a hole in the center of this flower. So then when you poke the stick in, you can just push the center up a little bit, which will look just fine, and hot glue that stick in there good. Okay? Then you can use floral tape to cover your stick. Okay? So thank you so much. Oh, was I going to show you something else? Nope, I wasn't. So thank you guys for, once again, coming to see Miss Lori's craft room. Oh, I know I was going to show you. Okay, so dark paper with hot glue, it will leave like little strings and it makes it look messy and I don't like it. So I use my heat gun, but you can also use a hair dryer, will melt those strings. So you can just go in and you're just going to melt the hot glue, and it literally just disappears. Where you had like white, it now disappears, and that's all done. So thank you so much. I hope to see you guys again. Please subscribe.